The NFL Combine is complete, which means more mock drafts for us. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we are going to do a live mock draft for the Los Angeles Rams. What do we mean by live? We will be acting as the front office during this mock draft simulation, going through all the picks. So while we're doing that, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the selections and what you want to see the Rams do at each pick. And hit that subscribe button and tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. Ryan, let's pull this up here. So, a couple picks before the Rams. You have Derek Carmen going to the Chargers, Walter Nolan going to the Packers, Darius Alexander going to the Vikings, and then Jalen Walker going to the Houston Texans. So, the Los Angeles Rams on the board. They're pretty interesting now, too, up to this point, as they've re signed Alaric Jackson. They've committed to moving on from Cooper Kupp as well. I do agree. I think they need some help in the back half of the defense and get a little bit younger at the linebacker room, get a little bit more quality corners as well. But their defensive line is solid, really good. That defensive line is going to be tough to handle over these next several years with Jared Verse and company as well. They've drafted extremely well here. So this is a very interesting spot overall. I think several different directions they can go. Ryan, I'm thinking they could go receiver here. They could go Colson Loveland. They could maybe see what corners are available as well. Um, that might be
Yeah.
kind of. I will say I do like Trey Amos. I think that could be a route that we could end up going. Uh, he is friend. I mean, with this draft class, he is fringe first round. I would say I think he wouldn't traditionally be a first round corner, but this is also just kind of a weaker class in general. So I don't
Yeah.
think it'd be too much of a reach for them to take him here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of been going through some of the options in my head. Like, I think Demetrius Knight Jr., really athletic linebacker, that would be really, really fun to see on the second level of that defense. You have Josh Connerly. They need some tackle depth. You could really go a lot of different ways. But the one that I keep kind of comparing to is especially here at 26, I think tremendous value would be Matthew Golden. It's not the biggest need, but with Cooper Kupp more than likely not being a Ram in 2025, you have Puka Nacua there. That is a nasty duo. There you have Matthew Golden, Puka Nacua. You can keep Demarcus Robinson. You can keep Tutu Atwell. You can. This is a pretty deep tight end class. You can address tight end later, and you have a lot of picks. So I
Yeah,
do feel like that is going to be a really interesting duo there. You could go Colson Loveland. I feel like he's the safer bet of like the pass catchers here, but Matthew Golden could be an absolute home run.
yeah,
And then Demetrius Knight is the other one that I'm contemplating just because it does really fill a need.
yeah. I think let's go. So, and quick disclaimer: we're not doing trades during this.
Yeah.
This is a sneaky trade back spot, just because their next pick's not till 90, and the Rams typically have been they like to accumulate a lot of picks, and they draft really well, so it works out well for them. But I will say, if we're looking at everything, a lot of the really top players are going to be gone, and I obviously by the time they get to the 90th pick, but to me, they've done some moves on the offensive line. Their offensive line is solidified. uh, I'm almost thinking Matthew Golden here as well,
Yeah.
because there's just going to be, even the other guys that could come in and contribute day one receiver wise are all going to be gone vast majority of
Let's
them are going to be gone by then. So I think
let's
let's
do
go
it.
Golden.
Yeah, let's go
Um,
Golden, and then I will say linebacker and corner will be a pretty pressing need. I think in the next two picks. Luckily, they're pretty close to each other. Um, so I think that's going to be man. And then they have another like 65 pick gap between 127 and 191. So Terrence Ferguson, that's really interesting, falling down here to 90. Um, Lathan Ransom would be a good safety, I think, to pair with Cameron Kitchens. You do have Jeffrey Bassa there as well. And then any corners, Dorian Strong, Jacob Parrish. You kind of get to that new wave of corners. So
it's interesting here because I mean, like Omar Speights played well, especially too for being an undrafted free agent coming out from the team last year in his rookie in the second half of the season. And then I'm looking at just some of the other linebacker depth as a whole, like Christian Rosenbaum is a free agent, Troy Reader's free agent as well. And it's those guys are a little bit older. And as of right now, they don't have really any other true inside linebackers
Yeah.
available right now. I'm almost thinking that Jeffrey Bossa would be the move to go here, and then they're picking out
I
100 again,
I
and then
am so tempted for Terrence Ferguson. I just think he's a really I don't think he has the ceiling of like a Mason Taylor in terms of like day 2 tight ends. But like just feel like he has a really high floor. He's a really consistent pass catcher. He's a really good target. I agree though. You look at the linebackers after Bossa here, and it is, I mean, you go to Barrett Carter all the way down at 125, Jack Kaiser, Kobe King. I mean, that is a fringe day 1 starter for this team. And
I
he has the leadership ability. I think it's Jeffrey Bossa. I think that's the
let's go
pick.
Jeffrey Bossa here because they have 3 picks here. To your point, which they have 3 picks here and about 35 picks or
Mhm.
so. And then it's a pretty big gap again from there.
Okay.
So we've done receiver, we've done linebacker.
Yeah.
This could be a
Um,
spot here if we're talking about secondary.
yeah, you got your pick of the litter of the next tier.
And particularly too, I will say to your point, I think I'm specifically corner because you're right. I like Cam Curl. I like Cameron Kitchens. Even
Mhm.
too, then who was the other guy here? Lake. Where's Lake at? Quentin Lake,
Yeah.
as well. Played pretty solid. Also too, still on his rookie contract. And so to me, I'm thinking outside corner.
I For me, my favorite guy of this bunch is Noel Williams. You
Okay,
could really pick your flavor of these top 4 guys right here, but I like Noel Williams the best. Um, but that's just me.
let's go Noel. I like Noel.
Okay. I like that too. And then
So
that gives them like a true physical outside presence. He's pretty sticky in man coverage. He does well in zone as well. So I just like that fit altogether. Here, I mean, are there any tackles that you like, any offensive linemen? I do feel like that is one area that they could improve is just the offensive line as a
what?
whole.
And
But
especially too after trading Jonah Jackson, which what
yeah.
was your what was it, Jonah? It was a 6th round pick, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure what actual pick it was. It could be 20, they have 202 and 203,
Yeah.
so it could be one
The,
of those
the,
2.
I hope PFF should have updated that, but they should have.
Okay. Um Willie Lampkin is the top rated one here. I do like Luke Kandra. Those are the 2 guards I think at this point that I would be willing to take. I don't know if there's anyone else.
I would, to me, I'm thinking interior, especially after moving on from Jonah Jackson. Then you're going to want some more depth there. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
So
To
then
be
do you want to
honest,
do Willie Lampkin or Luke Kandra? Lampkin is the more athletic one. Kandra is the bigger, more powerful one.
but let's go Lampkin. I think
Okay.
Rams fans, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the route they've gone more for. Uh,
Athleticism.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and it is updated. It's the 197. So it's his next pick actually here. Well, the
They
198
have
pick it looks like.
198. Yeah.
So maybe things are just like depending on like compensatory pick. So it was
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh trade that Chicago got for Justin Fields. So they
Okay.
Bears essentially flipped Justin Fields for Jonah Jackson.
Okay.
So
Here at 191,
ooh,
let's just do a quick recap. So Matthew Golden, Jeffrey Bossa, Noah Williams, Willie Lampkin. So you have wide receiver, linebacker, corner, guard. Um,
so hear me out.
Curtis
Another
Rourke.
off seat. Well, no, that'd be great. As an IU fan, but as a professional football analyst here on YouTube, Kyle McCord. We got to go Kyle McCord. He's going to have the more powerful
Yeah.
arm. He's going to be more ready. I'm an IU fan. If you've been watching the show, you know how fun it was for like watching IU this year, and I really appreciate Curtis Rourke, and I'll always remember the season that he helped give us. He's not going to make it in the NFL. He just doesn't have the arm talent. I think he was a product of a system, and he perfected this. He was in there really good. Kyle McCord, though, I think he has the arm talent that could come in and potentially maybe work. worst case scenario though.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of flaws to the system that he's got to work out. But Kyle McCord well over Curtis Rourke in my opinion.
I agree. I do think too, if you put him in a Sean McVay system, there are a few other coaches like, oh crap. There are just few other coaches that I would trust more to get Kyle McCord's big time throw percentage or keep his big time throw percentage the same while reducing the number of
Yeah.
turnover worthy plays. So I think Kevin O'Connell was the other name I was trying to think of. But
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think Kyle McCord here does make sense. Matthew Stafford, he did just renegotiate his deal, but I
Yeah.
think investing in a quarterback of the future, you have some luxury picks here.
And also too, you have 4 of the next 12 picks when you're there. So yeah, it's like you
Yeah,
have those luxury
yeah,
picks in the moment. Um, I think you could go secondary again here, if I'm being honest, or if you want to maybe get a running back. But that being said,
okay,
though, they have Kyren Williams, obviously. They have Blake Corum as well. But like you can maybe go Ollie Gordon here, kind of another luxury pick, just because you have like, and then this is the Bears traded pick here, so
yeah.
could go
Let's
there.
do
Go ahead.
let's do Achille Arnold. I think him and Cameron Kitchens would be a decent duo.
Sure.
Probably going to be much more of a special teams contributor, especially at first, but I think he has some potential to develop. So
Okay, let's do that.
let's do that. Address that level. And now I think we've touched the only thing we haven't touched is the defensive line. They don't really need it. I think Jared Verse, Braden Fiske, Byron Young, and crew kind of have that held down. Um, so honestly, like I'd be fine to maybe look at a developmental day 3 tackle. Holland Pierce is really interesting. Xavier Truss is going to kick into guard. Carson Vinson had really interesting measurables at the Senior Bowl, like very prototypical NFL tackle, pretty solid movement skills as well. Um, Kind of seems like a Rams pick. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, so I like there are some guys I think that have some tackle traits at this point. They just need development. Holland Pierce is just absolutely massive, but he's not the greatest of athletes. So
I think, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong. I think with the Sean McVay system, like athletic offensive linemen
yeah,
are going to
and
be the
that's
route that they
Carson
end up going.
Benson.
So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go Carson Vincent here,
Okay.
and then you have the next pick. Shoot, if you want to take both, I could get it. But here though, let's wrap this up. I think with a receiver, if I'm being
Okay.
completely honest, you
Okay.
go receiver or tight end.
Let's look. See who's available. Wide receiver, tight end.
Man, they haven't
CJ
updated Tay
Dupree.
Felton. That's hilarious.
I know they moved him down, which Ty Felton will not be here at this pick.
Unless there's something we don't know, like a
Yeah.
Kyron Lacy reason why he's down here. Like that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
from what I've heard too at Maryland, he's a high standard, high character kid also. So I
yeah.
mean, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Efton Chisholm he was one that had a really good Shrine Bowl, uh, and he was really hard to cover out of the slot. So I feel like that could be one.
My one thing, he went to Eastern Washington. What good receivers have come out of Eastern Washington?
Yeah, I know.
I
They
mean,
never
this
produce anybody.
exactly.
Uh,
Like especially in the Rams wouldn't take anybody from Eastern Washington and
yeah.
expect success. So
Uh,
I'm looking forward to
Arande
reading the comments. I'm looking forward to reading the comments.
I hope they know it's sarcasm, but honestly, let's
uh,
do that just because of the Eastern Washington connection.
sure, let's do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then that's it here for the Rams. So we did double dip at wide receiver. I feel like with Cooper Kupp moving on, they have um is it Demarcus Robinson? Yeah, Demarcus Robinson is over 30.
He's
Tutu
a free
Atwell.
agent. Yeah, he's a
He
free
is,
agent.
yeah.
They could bring him back. You do have Tutu Atwell. You have Jordan Whittington, who you drafted last
Yeah.
year. Uh, and so sorry, not to cut you off, but just wanted to
No, you're good.
add context.
But they have a wide receiver core, but it's nothing super solid like at the bottom end. And so I feel like maybe double dipping, adding some high end talent there at the top and a developmental guy from a small school, I think is gonna be good for them. I think that puts them at like 6 total guys, which is what they would have on the roster anyways.
Yeah.
Then you double dip on the offensive line. I think you make up for a lot of your weaknesses on the defense there at linebacker. You get an outside corner, and then you add a depth safety. I mean, I think it all makes sense, and you get yourself a developmental quarterback there in Kyle McCord.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I also think too with the Sean McVay offense as well, if we're looking at like skill position, like for receivers, I can absolutely see them finding a diamond in the rough of undrafted free agent guys
Yeah.
that fit their system really well. And kind of taken off. So we'll have to kind of wait and see here. But it's the Rams. I really trust the Rams overall when it
Oh yeah.
comes to if you go back and look at their past couple of draft classes, I feel like they just hit it out of the park. Even if some picks
Yeah.
end up being a bust, a lot of picks end up being a bust. But then they find like superstars talent. It seems like in late day 2, day 3 as well. So I
Mhm.
really like the system that they end up having here, and so I think they're going to do well. I trust they're going to
Yeah.
have a
I
good draft here.
The Rams and the Eagles at this point are just the best drafting teams in the NFL. They do it a little bit differently. The Eagles, I feel like they just follow the consensus board and then just take the whoever falls to them, like at the
I can
consensus board.
see the
And
Eagles. I can see the Eagles just like you let this guy go, we'll take him. Like, and they're
yeah,
laughing
it,
as they are like counting their riches.
and the Rams have like the most complex like analytics team, I think, in the NFL, and I think that's what leads them to a lot of these great draft picks. So, all in all, let's wrap this one up here. The Rams, I think this would be a phenomenal draft. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this Rams 7-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? And then that we'll see you guys next time.